on with today's show, Only Fools and Horses star John Challis speaks frankly about his eventful life on and off the screen, and all of my guests will be revealing their guilty pleasures. Now then, recent surveys have shown that Britain's gardens are getting smaller, and if you have no idea what to do with your tiny backyard, don't despair. Here to help is someone who's transformed her modest urban plot into a city oasis. Garden designer Emma Plunket. Welcome, Emma. So you've got this classic, long, thin London garden. Did you know instantly what you wanted to do with it?
I just knew it had potential because there were no plants to take out. It was a completely blank canvas.
That's good sometimes, isn't it? Because it means that, well, it can be a bit intimidating if you don't know what you want to do. But it does give you complete carte blanche instead of having some things you've got to keep.
Yes, absolutely. And my first decision was not to have a lawn, give the space to plants, put a path down the middle so that led your eye down, and then trying to emphasise the width as well. For example, putting a beech hedge across the centre draws you down into the garden.
Makes you explore and want to look further.
Yes.
Let's have a look at Emma's London garden. It really is a London oasis, isn't it? And it was very clear there to see what you'd done is you've done these divisions running laterally across the garden with things like Photinia, but they're on standard stems, so you see through them. It's not a blocking barrier, as it were.
Yes, absolutely. And you can control them. The idea is to keep the lollipop shape, but it's continuously wanting to get bigger. And
you get this lovely red-tinged foliage on Photinia. You know, Red Robin is the varietal name. And how often do you clip yours, then? Because it's a fast grower, isn't it?
A couple of times a year.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that gives you the height. You've got other things, as you said, beech, that do it as well. If you've got a tiny garden, of course, and you've got not room even for that, you could use standard roses like this one.
Yes.
You also use accent plants. Tell me about these.
Well, one of my favourite is the Penstemon Garnet, simply because it flowers for so long, from June, probably up until the frost.
Do you know, I've had garnet, Penstemon Garnet, out at Christmas. I mean, it's, for me, if I had 5 plants I would never be without, that's one of them. Easy to propagate from cuttings. Flowers, as you say, it socks off all the way through the summer. You've got lovely punches of colour, too, from red hot pokers there. They do, and again, the timing on those, because it's this time of year, isn't it, really, Emma? Everybody they go to the garden centres in May and June, buy everything that's in flower. This time of year, it's often spent, so it's quite wise to keep going at different times of year.
You come back from holiday and then suddenly you have a boost. You know, it's not yet winter. There are all these lovely, dark, muted tones coming out.
Practical things in your garden too, lots of seating, which I quite liked. But if you've got a tiny garden, this is a good idea. A seat which is also a storage unit. Up comes that, you can put your spade and your fork in there, because not everybody's got room for a shed. So you've clearly found, you know, this wonderful solace in your garden there. Anything that you wish you'd done that you didn't? We all learn by what we do and our mistakes as well as our successes.
Gosh, it wasn't until my mid-30s that I created my own garden. I wish that I'd, you know, done it earlier. That's the only regret, I think.
More of your life to enjoy. Well, what you have done is a tremendous transformation. This is what the garden looked like when you took it on. How anybody could have tackled that and said, oh, this is very exciting. Most people would say, oh, my goodness, what am I going to do? This is what you created. It's wondrous. I loved visiting it. Thank you very much for sharing it with us. But even if your garden's smaller than Emma's, don't worry. There's a book that shows you how to plant your perfect...